Today we're going to talk about 1099s and 1099 filing requirements. So business owners, no one really likes to talk about 1099s, but they are required by the IRS and you can be fined for not issuing them. So let's talk about the most common ones and some of the thresholds. The first one is a 1099 NEC, so non-employee compensation. So if you're paying an independent contractor to help in your business, or you're paying other service professionals, you may have to file these. Now let's talk about some of the nuances. If the person you're paying to help in your business is not a W-2 employee, but they're a unincorporated entity, such as just a sole proprietor, a person that's helping you, maybe they're an LLC, maybe a partnership, you do have to file the 1099. However, if they're an S corporation or a C corporation, you do not have to file a 1099, with the exception being attorneys. So how do you know this? How would you know if the business that's helping you, say on marketing, is an LLC or an S corp? Well, you're supposed to collect what's called the Form W-9 when you start working with them. So the best practice is when you bring on a new vendor or you bring on an independent contractor, collect their Form W-9. This will tell you if you have a requirement to issue the 1099 NEC for paying them more than $600 at the end of the year. Important deadline. So 1099 NECs must be filed to the recipient, so the service provider, and to the IRS no later than January 31st. It's a tight deadline, right? So if you don't have your W-9s in order, it can become a scramble drill to get all that information together. So make sure that when you hire someone, you ask them for their W-9 on day one of them working for you. That really makes the work easier to get the 1099s filed. So 1099 NECs are the most common one. What else is there? Well, there's 1099 MISC, right? MISC. Those are less frequent, but those are sometimes issued, say, for rents, for other non-employee type compensation. There's also 1099 DIV, DIV. Who would issue these? Well, maybe you're a corporation, a C corporation, right? Not an S corporation, but a C corporation that has issued dividends to the owners. You are required to file a 1099 DIV with the IRS to tell the IRS that you've taken a dividend from the C corporation. So those are some very important items there. The last thing we'll talk about is 1099K. So these are incoming forms for the most part. 1099Ks have a varying threshold, but what they are, that is when payment processors are reporting to the IRS how many transactions in the dollar volume of transactions that have run through their platform. So think of Stripe, PayPal, Venmo. They file these forms with the IRS and you. These can cause problems, and they have caused problems in the past with business owners. So for 2024, so the year before, it's a $5,000 threshold, and then it's supposed to go down after this. What does that mean? So if you get issued a 1099K, the IRS knows how much transactions have run through. They should reconcile to your books. For example, if you have 50,000 of Stripe processing through your account and the IRS gets that, make sure that your bookkeeping also reflects that. As long as that number is higher, you're not going to run into a problem. If that number is lower on your books than the 1099, you're going to get a mismatch error and mismatch notice from the IRS. So 1099Ks, right? They are important. They are important, but if you have accurate and timely bookkeeping, it's not going to matter because it's already been recorded. But be careful because those thresholds have gone down, so you're going to be receiving 1099Ks from these processors in the future. If you need help with 1099s, we do cover this for our accounting clients, tax clients that do not have accounting. We do offer this support as well. So as always, 1099s can be a confusing subject. You got to get them filed, otherwise you can be fined by the IRS for not filing them. Remember, it's a January 31st deadline, so it's always a tight deadline. But if any questions on 1099, let our team know. We're always happy to help. Take care.